Hey everyone, Metal and Coffee here, the internet's busiest metal music nerd. And today we're going to be reviewing the debut album by Idle Heirs, Life is Violence. As a big fan of hardcore and more specifically mathcore, it was a pleasant surprise to hear that Coalesce was doing a short reunion tour. But that wasn't all. The vocalist Sean Ingram was actually coming back with a new project called Idle Heirs. And with this new project, he'd be teaming up with his longtime friend, producer, writer, multi-instrumentalist, Josh Barber. Barber is well known for his work with Norma Jean and The Devil Wears Prada, but his versatility extends way beyond metalcore, showing how diverse and well-rounded a producer he is. Both Ingram and Barber have been in the metal and hardcore scene for over 20 years, so naturally I was very curious to hear what a collaboration between these two would sound like. And although they both talked about working together for years, it wasn't until the post-pandemic era, fueled by frustration and urgency, that they finally brought the project to life. And the result is their debut album, Life is Violence. And no, it's not a retread of Coalesce, Norma Jean, or any of the aforementioned bands. Instead, they venture into highly experimental post-metal territory, delivering one of the most beautiful albums to ever come out this year. The curation of this album happened mostly in isolation, and you can immediately feel that when you start listening to the record. The emotional impact is undeniable. The musicality is heavy with feeling, and the crisp production enhances the vulnerability in all the right places. It's a production style similar to those you'd hear from The Ocean, Cult of Luna, and even Conjurer. Very textured, layered, and deeply immersive. Take the opening track, Loose Tooth, for example. It starts with a lonely guitar melody, drenched in reverb, before Ingram shocks us with his clean vocals, which are actually pretty good. His voice actually reminds me of the vocalist from The Ocean, but with a little more pop-punk quality. A little more conversational, a little more speaky, but still full of weight. The album runs about 50 minutes, but it kind of flies by thanks to the constant shifting in pacing and the balance between aggression and melancholy. You get slow burners like Loose Tooth, Dim Shepherd, and Lemonade Stands, the kind of songs that sound like ticking time bombs, always ready to explode. Lemonade Stands in particular stands out because of the very, very late drop in the drums near the end of the track. It's still subtle, but it's punchy enough to really have a lasting impression. Then you get full-on aggressive tracks like Rare Bird, Pillow Talk, and Jaded Mountain. The intensity hits full force in all three of those tracks. And then we come to the closer, Mama, where it strips everything back to just Barber's acoustic guitar and Ingram's clean vocals. It's a gorgeous, pensive song that kind of radiates a quiet defeat, almost like the album comes full circle, but softer and more broken. One thing that sets Life is Violence apart is how it kind of fits into the post-metal realm and doesn't really stick to the expected song lengths. There's a really good balance between lengthy tracks that end up being close to 10 minutes and then shorter tracks that are under 5 minutes, which I think is a smart move. It keeps the album moving, sidestepping the genre's tendency for prolonged repetition. As mentioned before, Ingram does a lot of clean vocals on this record, which might kind of shatter the expectations that Coalesce fans might have. And not only that, this record is easily one of the most lyrically vulnerable albums I've ever heard in a very long time. The title, Life is Violence, sets the tone from the start. It's one of the first lines that Ingram screams in the opening track. Throughout the record, the lyrics feel raw, honest, and unfiltered. Take the standout line from Dim Shepherd. This cult is a cult and it's bleeding us dry. A furious and bitter observation that feels all too relevant in this exhausting and fractured world. But for me, the most powerful moment comes in the album closer, when Ingram says, "This is how I was made, against my will. This is how I was made, designed to kill." It's a heartbreaking admission of defeat and resignation, that no matter how hard you fight, the damage is already done. The theme of Life is Violence is deeply personal, reflecting on the generational impact that Ingram's father had on him, and by extension, the impact he has as a father himself. It's an incredibly dark look inward, one that doesn't offer any easy redemption. What truly sets this record apart from other metal releases this year is how it fully commits to storytelling, both lyrically and musically. The honesty here isn't just refreshing, It's devastating in the best way. I do want to mention that this band didn't curate this record for anyone but themselves, and I feel like that kind of makes this music come alive a bit more. Regardless of that, my criticisms are pretty minimal. There really isn't a bad song on this album, but with that said, I wonder how they can push the boundaries of their originality in the post-metal scene. You can definitely hear sprinkles of Cult of Luna throughout the record, which is unsurprising because Barbara's a big fan of them, as am I. And it's not a bad thing at all, but it does make me wonder if they can do more to carve out a more distinct sound for themselves. Truth be told, it's incredibly difficult to be original these days in any genre, but you can still have a big emotional impact, and Life is Violence does that. Emotional, expansive metal is not by any means mainstream. So I have a huge amount of respect for any bands who choose to live here. So overall, this is a really fantastic record from two extremely seasoned musicians. The emotional impact, the textured layers, the rise and fall of each track, the vulnerability, it's all there. I honestly cannot wait to see where this project goes. I will always have a soft spot for metal that's rooted in emotional beauty, and Life is Violence hits that perfectly. Throughout the album, there's a masterful balance of aggression and melancholy, a tension that's built carefully through textures, layers, dynamic shifts, and thoughtful songwriting. It's a sound that pulls you in deeper without overwhelming you. Simply put, this album keeps you locked in, a rare feat, especially in a genre that dares you to lose focus. With that said, I'm feeling a strong 8. Transition. How would you rate it? How would you rate it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you to Fantano for having me again, and I will see you next time, Metalheads.